Have you ever stopped to think about those invisible systems working all around us? The tech that keeps things flowing smoothly, like clean water to your home or the big industrial processes.
It's easy to take them for granted.
Absolutely. So today we're doing a deep dive into one of these hidden but vital components, the global market for flow switches.
Right. These are crucial pieces of equipment.
Exactly. We want to go beyond just the summary of a market report and really unpack what's happening in this sector, where it is now, where it's heading.
And what's actually driving all that change? We've got some pretty comprehensive research to draw on here.
We do. Now, first off, flow switches. Maybe not everyone's familiar.
Good point. Basically, they're devices that monitor and often control the movement of liquids or gases in a system. Pipes, ducts, that sort of thing.
Kind of like a gatekeeper for flow, making sure things move correctly.
Precisely. Essential for safety, for efficiency, in countless applications.
Okay, so let's look at the big picture for this market then. The numbers are pretty compelling.
Yeah, they really are.
We're seeing projections showing growth from just over, $1.6 billion back in 2021.
That's right. And heading towards nearly $2.8 billion by 2033.
That's a pretty steady climb. Works out to about a 4.6% compound annual growth rate.
A solid, consistent expansion.
So the obvious question is, what's actually fueling this? What's behind this, quiet but powerful growth?
Well, the research points quite clearly to a few major drivers. First off, you've got the relentless increase in industrial automation.
Right, that seems to be happening everywhere.
It really is, across all sorts of sectors, manufacturing, power generation, you name it. Companies are constantly automating, optimizing.
And that means needing more precise control over fluids and gases.
Exactly. It's not just about robots, it's about managing these flows accurately. Then there's the growing need for real-time fluid management.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Think about critical infrastructure, like oil and gas pipelines, chemical processing plants. They need to know exactly what's flowing where and when, instantly.
For safety, I imagine, and efficiency.
Both. Absolutely critical. But it also applies to, say, municipal water treatment, ensuring water quality, or even the big HVAC systems in buildings.
Keeping things running smoothly and safely. Makes sense.
And the third big piece is technology itself. Constant advancements, particularly in sensor technology, are making these flow switches more accurate, more reliable.
Better tools for the job.
Exactly. And if you bring that back to, how it affects us, this push for automation, for real-time data, it ultimately means more efficient systems, better safety, and importantly, more sustainability in all the infrastructure we rely on.
That really does put their importance into perspective. Okay, so we know the why. The automation, the real-time needs, the tech. Where is this growth actually happening geographically?
Now that's where you start seeing some really interesting regional differences and patterns.
Let's break that down. How about North America? Still a big market, I assume.
Definitely. A major established player. The projections show it growing from just under $500 million in 2021
to over $750 million by 2033. Around 774 million, yeah.
And the U.S. is the powerhouse within that region, no surprise, expected to be close to $600 million by 2033.
With a solid, if not explosive, growth rate.
Yeah.
About 3.77% annually.
Right. But it's not just the U.S. driving it. Canada's showing strong growth, too, over 5% CAGR.
Okay.
And Mexico as well, around 4.4%. So it signals pretty broad industrial investment across the continent.
A healthy, mature market there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hop across the pond. Europe.
Europe's another really significant contributor. It's forecast to grow from about 311 million up to over 510 million by 2033.
With an overall annual growth around 4.1%.
Yes. And within Europe, you have the expected leaders. Germany, Italy, the UK are all strong.
But France stands out a bit.
It does, actually. France shows a notably higher CAGR, almost 4.9%, suggests perhaps a stronger push there on adopting these newer automation technologies and fluid systems.
Interesting. Any other surprises in Europe?
Well, maybe not a total surprise, but Eastern Europe and the rest of Europe category are showing really robust growth. We're talking CAGRs exceeding 5.5% in some cases.
Wow. So faster adoption or modernization happening there.
Seems like it. A clear sign they're catching up and investing heavily in upgrading their industrial capabilities.
Okay, let's keep moving east. Asia Pacific. This seems like a region to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Asia Pacific is, a powerhouse. It's set to basically double in market size.
From around 660 million in 2021
to over 1.1 billion by 2033. It's one of the fastest expanding regions globally easily.
What's driving that massive growth?
You've got incredibly strong growth in places like India, nearly 5.8% CGR. Singapore is also very high, over 5.5%.
Southeast Asia generally doing well, too.
Very well, yeah, over 5.3% for the region as a whole. And then, of course, you have the sheer scale of China.
Projected around 330 million by 2033.
Exactly. And Japan, still a major industrial force, contributing over 225 million. So it's both rapid growth and massive existing scale.
That paints a clear picture of dominance there. Okay, turning south. South America, what's the story?
South America is definitely showing promise, growing from about 110 million to over $200 million by 2033.
Brazil leading the charge.
Brazil's a big part of it, yes. Accounts for a large slice of the regional market, maybe around 64 million by 2033.
But Argentina caught my eye in the figures.
Yes. Argentina stands out with one of the highest growth rates in the region, over 6%. That's quite significant.
What does that suggest? Rapid modernization.
It points towards a faster uptake of modern flow monitoring tech, perhaps in water management, agriculture, or manufacturing sectors there.
And other countries to watch?
Keep an eye on Colombia, Peru, Chile as well. Lots of potential there as their industries develop and require more sophisticated monitoring.
Okay, good to know. Now, what about the Middle East?
The Middle East shows, let's say, more moderate growth. The regional CAGR is around 3.2%.
Reaching about $93 million by 2033.
Correct. Key players like the UAE, which actually has a decent CAGR itself, about 4.3%, and Egypt are driving demand.
Primarily in which sectors?
Largely in petrochemicals, which is obviously huge there, and also in desalination plants. Both are critical infrastructure needing precise flow control.
Right. Essential for their economies. And finally, Africa. What are we seeing there?
Now, Africa is fascinating. It's starting from a smaller base, obviously.
Just under 30 million in 2021?
Right. But it boasts the highest regional growth rate by a significant margin, an impressive 8.46% CAGR.
Wow, that's substantial.
Yep.
Projected to reach over 74 million by 2033.
Exactly. More than doubling. This is being driven by major investments pouring into energy projects, general infrastructure development, and crucially, water systems.
Across the continent or specific countries?
We see strong contributions from places like Nigeria and South Africa, but what's really striking is the rest of Africa category.
That shows the highest growth.
It does. Almost 8.8% CAGR. That indicates a really broad-based push for development and adopting these necessary technologies across many different African nations. It's not just concentrated in a few spots.
That's really encouraging to see. Okay, so we've done the world tour, looked at all these regions. If we take a step back, what does this all mean for you, the listener? What's the big takeaway from this global landscape?
Well, if you synthesize all that data, a few clear global trends emerge, reinforcing what we talked about earlier. Increasing automation is universal. Demand for real-time monitoring is rising everywhere.
And infrastructure upgrades are ongoing.
Absolutely. So what you really see are kind of two parallel tracks. You've got the mature, highly industrialized markets, think the US, Germany, Japan. They're showing steady, solid growth as they integrate ever more sophisticated systems, fine-tuning things.
Refining their processes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have the emerging economies, especially across Asia, Africa, Latin America. They're adopting these technologies rapidly, often as part of building new infrastructure from the ground up.
So for them, it's foundational.
It really is. These flow switches are essential for boosting efficiency and sustainability right from the start as they build out their industrial base and manage resources like water more effectively.
It paints a picture of a technology that's both maintaining stability in developed regions and enabling progress in developing ones.
Precisely. It really makes you think about the bigger picture of global industrial development, resource management, and interconnectedness.
It absolutely does. It's quite incredible how these often unseen pieces of technology, like flow switches, are just so fundamental to how our modern world actually functions, how stable it is.
Truly the unsung heroes sometimes.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to consider. Thinking about this steady growth, this widespread adoption, how might the continued spread of precise flow management in everything from, distant oil fields to your local water plant, how might that subtly but profoundly shape the stability, the efficiency, and maybe even the sustainability of our interconnected world over the next decade?
It's a fascinating question to ponder.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on something that's Often overlooked, but is actually fundamental, really fundamental to modern infrastructure and industry.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the unsung heroes, the silent workhorses,
Yeah.
flow switches. You might not have thought about them much, but by the end of this, you'll see why these seemingly simple devices are so incredibly vital
Yeah.
and how they're quietly shaping our future from, say, the factories making our goods to the renewable energy systems powering our homes.
Quite a range.
It is. Our insights today, they come from a detailed analysis of recent research, specifically Cognitive Market Research's big report on the flow switches market.
Right. And our mission for you today is, well, it's to equip you with a real understanding of this essential component. We want to show you exactly how these flow switches underpin safety, drive efficiency, and contribute to sustainability across global industries. You'll gain knowledge quickly, and honestly, you'll probably have some genuine aha moments, about technologies you interact with daily without even realizing it.
Like what, for instance?
Well, imagine a tiny valve that, if it fails, could maybe halt an entire city's water supply or shut down a critical power plant.
Wow.
That's the hidden kind of disproportionate impact of these unassuming devices. We'll show you why their silent work is so powerful.
So what exactly are these hidden heroes we're talking about then? Let's start there.
Okay. At their core, flow switches are critical components. They enable safe and efficient fluid control.
Fluid control. Okay.
Yeah. Think of them as like vigilant sentinels, guards maybe, in pipelines and systems, constantly monitoring the movement of liquids and gases.
Sentinels. I like that.
Right.
So what kind of battlefields are these sentinels deployed in? Where do we find them?
Their fundamental role makes them absolutely crucial across, well, an astonishing range of sectors, actually.
Okay.
We're talking manufacturing, energy production, HVAC systems, even water treatment plants.
Okay, the big ones.
Exactly. In these areas, they're indispensable for monitoring whether liquids and gases are flowing as they should be, or, if there's an issue that needs immediate attention.
Right, a warning system almost.
Sort of, yeah. Without them, processes would be less safe, less efficient, and far more prone to failure. I mean, consider the sheer scale of operations in, say, a chemical plant or a power station.
Surge.
Yeah, the continuous, accurate flow of liquids and gases is literally what keeps the lights on and the factories running.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's talk numbers. Because the numbers certainly show a compelling trajectory. This isn't just niche stuff. It's a really significant market.
It is.
According to the research, the global flow switches market was valued at, $1.2 billion back in 2021? But here's the really interesting part. It's expected to hit approximately $1.65 billion by 2025. That's soon.
Right around the corner.
And then soar to surpass $2.89 billion by 2033.
That's quite a climb.
It is. That's a steady compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of 7.15% from 2025 to 2033. That means it's projected to grow at an impressive, consistent rate year over year. Serious momentum for something most people haven't heard of.
Absolutely.
So what's truly fueling such an impressive surge? What's behind this growth?
What's fascinating here is how this growth is really closely connected to larger global trends.
Boy.
We're seeing increasing industrial automation across the board, from automated manufacturing lines to really complex processing plants.
Okay, automation, that makes sense.
And alongside that, stricter regulatory frameworks are pushing demand. Industries face greater pressure to meet safety and environmental standards.
Oh, the compliance factor.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about industries striving for greater control, predictability, and, yes, compliance.
So diving into specific drivers then. That increasing demand for industrial automation you mentioned, like in massive oil refineries or maybe even food processing plants?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where flow switches are crucial for constantly monitoring those liquid and gas flows, right, to ensure quality and safety.
Precisely. They ensure everything from product consistency to operational safety.
Yeah.
Without them, automation gets risky.
But is there a point where this automation could become too complex, maybe leading to different kinds of vulnerabilities that flow switches actually help mitigate?
That's a great point. Yes, absolutely. The more automated and complex a system gets, the more critical these seemingly simple devices become. They act as indispensable fail-safes.
Okay.
And beyond heavy industry, think about the rapid expansion of HVAC systems in buildings.
Right, everywhere.
And the ever-growing need for sophisticated water treatment systems. In both of these areas, flow monitoring is essential. It ensures optimal performance and helps prevent costly breakdowns.
You don't want the hospital HVAC failing.
Exactly. Imagine that. A massive HVAC system failing because a simple flow switch wasn't monitoring things correctly.
Yeah.
The ripple effect would be enormous. Then, pivoting to the regulatory aspect, these switches are becoming indispensable in tightly regulated sectors. Oil and gas, chemicals.
High-stakes stuff?
Very high stakes. They help companies meet stringent safety and environmental standards, prove compliance, and mitigate risks. Which, raises an interesting question. Do these evolving regulations sometimes stifle innovation, or are they generally a positive driver for this market?
That makes sense. Regulation often pushes new tech, but sometimes regulations can make it harder for, say, smaller companies to adapt. Are we seeing any of that here? Or are the benefits clear enough?
It's a balancing act. While regulations can add compliance costs for flow switches, they've largely been a positive driver. They push for higher reliability, more precision.
Okay.
However, even our unsung champions face their trials. There are challenges.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Because growth always comes with its own set of challenges, doesn't it? So while the market is surging, this rapid growth isn't all smooth sailing. There must be some significant hurdles they, and the industries relying on them, have to overcome.
Indeed. One major challenge is the cost, the high cost of advanced flow monitoring technologies.
The price tag.
Especially when you consider smart or wireless variants. These can be quite an investment.
Right.
Which can limit their adoption, in smaller operations. Smaller companies might struggle to afford the latest tech.
So is this basically becoming a technology mainly for the biggest players then? Or are there more affordable, maybe scaled-down solutions emerging for, like, SMEs?
That's a key question the market is grappling with. There's definitely a push for more accessible options, but the top-tier tech remains costly. Another hurdle involves compatibility issues.
Integration headaches.
Exactly. Trying to integrate these switches across complex or non-standard industrial systems, it often requires specialized customization.
Which takes time and money.
Slows down deployment, adds cost. Yeah. And finally, there's the concern of frequent calibration and maintenance needs.
Keeping them accurate.
Especially in harsh industrial environments, that's a persistent worry for long-term reliability. It reminds me, actually, of the hidden sensors in our cars.
Yeah.
That we never think about until the check engine light comes on, right? These flow switches are doing that same essential, unseen work, but on a massive industrial scale.
That's a good analogy. So given these significant challenges, especially the cost and integration hurdles, how is the industry responding? Are these innovations really turning obstacles into opportunities or?
Oh, the industry is absolutely stepping up. It has to.
Right.
We're seeing a huge surge in IoT-enabled flow switches. Internet of Things.
Smart switches.
Exactly. These are essentially smart devices connected to the internet. They allow for real-time monitoring of flows, predictive maintenance.
Fixing things before they break.
Precisely. And even remote operation. This aligns perfectly with the broader Industry 4.0 transformation that's sweeping through manufacturing.
Right, that whole digitalization and automation trend.
Yeah, increasing digitalization, automation, data exchange. It's all connected. And we're also seeing a shift toward compact, miniaturized designs.
Smaller switches. Why?
So they can be integrated into totally new areas. Think medical devices, maybe portable diagnostics, or even electronics cooling systems.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tiny scales.
Yeah, it enables innovation where fluid control just wasn't feasible before. And very notably, renewable energy applications are jumping on board.
Renewables. How so?
Think geothermal systems, solar thermal. They're increasingly adopting flow switches for highly efficient thermal management, managing the heat transfer fluids. This really reinforces their critical role in building a more sustainable energy future. It's not just about traditional industry anymore.
That's fascinating. Okay, let's zoom out then to the global picture. How do different regions stack up in this vital market? Who's leading the charge, and where's the fastest growth happening?
Regionally, North America continues to lead in terms of revenue.
Okay, why is that?
Primarily due to strong existing demand in its industrial automation and HVAC sector. They have a large established base.
Got it.
However, what's truly noteworthy is that Asia-Pacific is witnessing the fastest growth rate, by far.
Okay. What's driving that?
It's powered by massive infrastructure expansion, new factories, new buildings, and the rapid adoption of smart manufacturing practices, especially in countries like China, India, and Japan.
Big investments happening there.
Huge investments.
Yeah.
Europe, meanwhile, remains a steady player, particularly strong in green energy applications linking back to renewables,
Right.
and also compliance with strict chemical safety regulations. They're very focused on that.
So different regional priorities shaping the market.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it really shows how global development priorities directly influence specific technology markets. It highlights the interconnectedness of seemingly disparate industries.
So to kind of recap our deep dive here,
Hmm,
we've explored how flow switches, these essential, yet let's face it, often overlooked pillars,
definitely overlooked.
are absolutely critical for industrial performance and energy efficiency. Hopefully you, the listener, now have a deeper understanding of these hidden heroes of modern industry.
Yeah, hopefully we've shed some light, and maybe for a final provocative thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Consider how many everyday systems, truly everyday systems, from your home's HVAC maybe,
Yeah.
to the energy that powers your entire city, rely on the silent, consistent work of unassuming components like these flow switches.
You just don't see them.
You don't. But this new understanding might just make you look at the seemingly mundane parts of our infrastructure with perhaps a newfound appreciation.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about the ripple effect if just one of these tiny, crucial components failed in a really critical system.
It's a big thought. Makes you appreciate the small stuff.
It really does. The silent workhorse is keeping everything flowing.